cheap homesteading. I'm in the garage this morning and I just went to Princess Auto. It's one of those stores you go in for one thing and then you get a few more things at least. It's a really awesome store and they are really making better quality tools. It seems like every year they're getting better and better quality tools, so I'm super happy about that. So anyways, I went in and I had to replace one of my tools that stopped working. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to get that. And then you start looking, and next thing you know, you bought a few more things. So for anyone that doesn't know what Princess Auto is, it's basically a Harbor Freight type store. It has cheaper tools and it's in Canada. But as far as I have heard, and I went to a Harbor Freight store, Princess Auto pretty much beats Harbor Freight hands down. There is no comparison. So I went there yesterday. And the first thing I was looking for was the battery load tester. This thing was $19.99. It was on sale from about $42 or something like that. I don't know the price, but it was about $42 regular. It was on sale for $19.99. I thought this is a great time to get it, and especially because I needed it. It was a good timing. I had one in the shop here for years. It was hanging in the shop, and I think the temperature changes, especially in the winter, summer. It didn't do a great job on the meter itself, the needle. Something happened inside of it and then just wasn't reading properly. So I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna go get another one. And it just happened to be on sale, so I was super happy with that. I should open this up. We'll just take a look at it. So that is what you get. There is more expensive battery load testers on the market than this, for sure. But they all kind of do the same thing. This thing will do up to 100 amps, which is pretty good because that will mean that you'll be able to do a 200 cold cranking amp battery, which is pretty good because when you test it down to 50% of your cold cranking amps. So that's a pretty decent battery. It'll do most car batteries. It'll definitely do most ATV batteries. It'll do all that kind of stuff. So it's super to have around. For people that don't know what a load tester is, a load tester is basically you put it on the battery, you push the button, and it puts a load. It simulates, starter draw, lights, and everything. So you can kind of see how good the battery is, and you can actually see if the battery actually passed. In the old days, they nicknamed these things toasters. Because when you push the button, there's a wire in here that wraps through and you'll see it get red. So that's why people nickname them toasters. But having some sort of load tester for your battery is really important. You need one to actually be able to diagnose a battery problem. So we got that. Next thing I got was a test light. They had like test lights that were just like $5.99, but they're awful cheap. They're like plastic, really thin plastic, really bad. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try to get my cheapest, good quality test light. So I looked at this and it looked like it was some decent quality and that it would last. So we're gonna open this up. So they call this an extra long probe circuit tester. So it has the extra long probe on it, which is handy to get in there. It's insulated on the shank, so you're not going to actually short out on anything here. It's got the screwdriver type handle. It seems pretty solid. The only issue is the wire. I can picture it being really brittle when it gets out cold, but it still is pretty flexible. So under most circumstances, it'll last a long time. When you get a really expensive test light, the wire's really soft. It's definitely not that, but it's definitely worth the money for sure. This one cost me $18.99. I think it was on sale, but I thought this one was better, and actually I'm pretty happy with it. I went into Princess Auto just to get a battery load tester, but it came out with a few other things. But my tools at home, this stuff is good for my tools at home for sure. Just gonna round out everything. My test light was really cheap. It wasn't working very good, and my load tester just stopped working. So I thought, you know what, I'll get a load tester, get a test light, and I'll get a multimeter. So I'll have pretty much everything you need to do to diagnose any electrical problem. and it only cost me $57 with tax. So I thought that was a pretty good deal. I was happy about that. Okay, so we're gonna open this up a bit. Comes with a little repair manual, power fist. Okay, so the test leads. The test leads on this thing have something to be desired for sure. They are really stiff, so you can see in cold weather they're probably going to crack. But I mean, this is it was on sale and it was $11.99. So kind of what do you expect, really? You know, so voltage. In common, and you turn it on. It's got ohms, volts, AC volts, DC volts, and it's got an amp function up to. It's got an amp function. I don't know how many amps can it do. So it has an amp function, but I mean it's fused to 200 milliamps, so it's almost practically. You can't check what amps. The only thing you can do with that is check to see if it has a voltage draw. But if it goes any higher than that, you're going to blow the fuse for sure. So the multimeter's cheap, but it'll actually do the job. So I am super happy with that. I just wanted to show you guys what I got at Princess Auto. So that's about enough for today. You guys have a good one.